Atlanta. Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump's lawyer and confidant, surrendered in Atlanta jail on Wednesday on charges related to then-President Trump's efforts reverse his loss in the 2020 presidential election in Georgia. The former mayor of New York was indicted, along with Trump and 17 others, last week. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis said they were involved in a far-reaching conspiracy to subvert the will of voters after the Republican president's defeat to Democrat Joe Biden in November 2020. Released after being registered like the other defendants, Giuliani's bond was set at $150,000, second only to Trump's $200,000. Giuliani, 79, is accused of leading Trump's efforts to force state lawmakers in Georgia and other contested states to ignore the will of voters and illegally appoint Electoral College voters in Trump's favor. Other high-profile defendants surrendered on Wednesday, including Attorney General Ellis, who prosecutors say was involved in efforts to persuade state lawmakers to unlawfully appoint presidential voters, and Sidney Powell, who was accused of making false statements about and aiding elections in Georgia. A breach of voting equipment was organized in rural Coffee County. Georgia was one of the few key states Trump narrowly lost, leading Republicans and their allies to declare, without any evidence, that the election was rigged in favor of his Democratic rival, Biden. Giuliani is charged with making false statements and solicitation, conspiracy fabricate false papers, and asking state lawmakers to violate their oaths appoint an alternate list of pro-Trump voters. In front of the Fulton County Jail on Wednesday afternoon, Giuliani laughed when asked if he regretted allying with Trump. "It's an attack me, not just President Trump. The people involved in this indictment, some of whom I don't know, but the American people." After Giuliani's surrender, Trump reiterated his baseless allegations of election and theft, writing on his social media site, "The greatest mayor in New York City history has just been arrested in Atlanta, Georgia for fighting for election integrity." Trump, who is in top spot in the 2024 Republican presidential primaries, said on Thursday he plans to surrender to Fulton County Penitentiary. He and his allies stated that the investigation was politically motivated and heavily criticized. Democratic District Attorney Willis, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and former Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark are trying to get the case against them to be heard in federal court rather than the Fulton County Supreme Court. Both argue that actions leading up charges in indictment were related to their work as a federal officer and that case should be brought federal court and charges against them dismissed. Each had asked a judge to allow him to avoid arrest pending these demands. But U.S. District Judge Steve Jones on Wednesday denied requests avoid jail time as he struggled to take the case.